Aceholes, take one.
What are we doing?
You're literally crying right now.
Let me eat my pizza.
Why are you crying?
It's our first episode.
Aceholes with Nikki and Caitlin.
Hello, welcome to the Aceholes podcast. This is our first episode. How are you feeling, Caitlin?
It's an inauguration. I feel nervous and excited though.
Shit, we didn't introduce ourselves. I'm Nikki Limo.
And I'm Caitlin Komeski.
We're so good at hosting already. Are you impressed? Please say yes. Please be our friends. Please like us.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Put them down. Put them down. Put them down. So, there's always like some first time jitters because it's like, wow, it's our first episode. So much pressure. It's going to set the whole tone for the whole show and everyone's going to judge us on it. We want to take some of that away, maybe alleviate some pressure. So let's just like have a casual convo, huh? Like,
yeah, just keep it cash.
tell you why we decided to start a show. Why did we decide to start a show?
I don't know. It was your idea. I just said yes.
Yeah, I didn't think she'd say yes. I fucked up.
I really think you were counting on me saying no.
I was like,
I wish I could have seen your face when you saw me texting to follow up the next morning about like, hey, when do you want to meet about that podcast idea? I wish I could have seen your face. You'd be like, what the hell, Steve? She wants to do it.
Hey, Steve, get in here. That's my husband. He actually always was like, you're going to start a poker podcast. And I'm like, I don't know with who. Like, who would I ever do that with? We're all like old-timey circus people too in this house.
Yeah, I'm the bearded lady.
So, about a month ago, Caitlin was nominated for let me brag about my friend really quick. She was nominated not for one, but for 2 GPI awards. Yes. And the GPI awards were here in town on March 3rd. It was a Friday night. And on Thursday, the eve of the show, I was playing 2-5 No Limit Hold'em at the Wynn Casino, waiting for my good friend Katie Lindsay, who was final tabling a bounty event. You know, just casual everyday Thursday things.
Crusher.
She goes, hey, you want to see a show with me? And I was like, sure. She's like, okay, I'm in this tournament still, but I was like, okay, I'll play cash and wait for you. And she's like, we also got to meet up with Caitlin. Well, anyway, we don't end up seeing the show because she runs so deep in this tournament. And we come and meet Caitlin at the bar.
Herbs and Rye.
Herbs and Rye.
That's my favorite restaurant to
cute
eat
bar,
in all
by the
of.
way.
Yeah, so it's like one of the only like really late night open places. It's closed on Sunday. I tried to go there on a Sunday. You cannot eat there on a Sunday, but it's open till I think like the kitchen is open until at least 2 a.m. maybe even 4. I'm gonna have to check that. But like full menu, and then they have like BOGO deals. There's certain like late night happy hours. So I don't know why I'm advertising for Herbs and Rye.
Yeah. Not
that,
sponsored.
Like,
we just like them, okay?
I just like a nice steak with a béarnaise sauce, and that's
she's
about
tested
it.
all hours of every day that you cannot be there.
Just Sunday.
Okay. It's at 7 a.m.
But
like,
on the day that is closed, you can go next door to the Japanese restaurant Osaka, which is perfectly palatable.
I'm glad you like that too.
Perfectly palatable.
Yeah, perfectly palatable. So just like us. Yay.
Yeah. So we were sitting at the bar at Herbs and Rye. I was eating. They were not. And I don't care because when I need my steak, I need my steak. And
it's perfectly palatable.
Katie was like, who's your date to the GPI awards? And I was like, well, I asked my friend Sam and he never got back to me. And then I asked this guy and he said no. So I'm like literally going by myself to the GPI awards. And Katie was like, unacceptable. Nikki wants to go. Just take Nikki. And I was like,
and I was like, hey.
I really don't have a reason to say no. I like Nikki. I mean, like the only reason to say no would be that I wouldn't want my date to be like a hotter girl than me in a beautiful evening gown dress. But I'm not going to say that right now. Yeah, sure. Nikki, you can go.
I was not a hotter girl. She looked absolutely stunning.
I have this video of you just like walking down from Mount Olympus, just descending in your slinky blue silky number.
Me giving my dirty Honda Civic to the valet. Like, is it okay if I park here? I'm going to prom.
It was poker prom.
Yeah. And so on our way, well, she says yes. She accepts Katie's Cupid match of me going as her date. And I give her a ride back to her hotel room. And we started talking about like poker and comedy and a lot of things, and we had so many similarities. It was like actually pretty crazy because in the like 10-minute car ride that we had, we talked about a lot of things that were so similar with where we are in poker, where we've been with comedy. Like a lot of our experiences were the same as far as
we've
training
both been
goes.
stand-up. We've both been stand-up comedian for
improv.
years of our life. You went to Upright Citizens Brigade.
You went to Groundlings.
Yep.
Which makes so much sense because she crushes it at characters. Like, and then I mulled it over and I was like, oh my God, like I've been trying to come up with a new show idea that involves poker, but I don't want to do poker vlogging. And I've been doing streaming, which I love. I have a Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Tricknicks. Check it out. But it's like, more like strategy. We're talking about hands and stuff, but I want to do like the poker community is so fun, and Caitlin is so funny, and she was doing lots of impressions of the community, various members of the community who I know in person, and she was doing like such funny like just funny stuff. I was like, she's a funny lady. And then as I got to know her, I was like, oh, and she's like really trained. Like we could speak the same language. I was like, I don't know, this might be crazy, but maybe we do a podcast together. I have all the equipment. I know how to do YouTube channels, and I've done all that for years. Like maybe we start something, see where it goes. I don't know. So I pitched it to her like right before we walked into the GPI Awards. I was like, hey, gotta talk to you about something. Maybe we start a show. I don't know. You gotta go here.
You gotta shoot shots. You gotta try.
You gotta shoot your shot, man. I shot my shot with her, and it worked.
And it worked.
Like, then I got scared. Yeah, but like because of the contrast in our training too, where like Upright Citizens Brigade is very like about the scene work and starting from like being like basically being the straight man and like finding the first weird thing and then like setting the game up for that.
Yeah.
And Groundlings
They
is
say
very
find
much
the game,
character.
right?
Yeah, find the game.
Find the game.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, like I could be a straight man and you be a character, and we could set each other up, and we could do sketches, and maybe we do bits, and maybe we do podcast stuff, and maybe we just have a party and have a fun time, and we know all the same people. Maybe we have them be guests on the show. By the way, if there's anyone you'd like to see, let us know in the comments. We have quite a few episodes on the ready for you that I won't.
We're locked and loaded. Chamber is loaded.
We weirdly recorded this episode, our first episode, last in the trip. So yeah, then she got back to me right away, and she went back to Texas, and we had like a powwow over Zoom where we pitched all the same bits to each other.
Essentially, yeah.
Like I pitched a bit, she already had it written down, and then vice versa. She would pitch something, and I'm like, oh my God, I have that on my paper too. So I was like, oh, this might work. This might be a thing. And it's like, okay, well, the only other thing is you live in Texas. Like, when can you come? She's like, I'm gonna come out next week.
I've always been, and like, I'm impulsive. I have like a very impulsive bone in my body. Like if I want to, like, I don't like to like second guess things a lot. I just like to dive in and try and not be afraid of failure. But this was definitely something that I was jazzed to say yes to.
So here we are. We're like, okay, we're going to start a show. Great. Who should be our first guest? Because the first episode is like so important. It sets the tone for everything. It gives people the expectations of what they should be looking forward to. They were calling us up like, how can we be on the show? So we're like, yeah, come to the audition. And here's some of the behind the scenes at the audition tape.
Aceholes audition.
What is my on-camera experience? Give me a break. You're not gonna ask about my 16 bracelets? You just want to know if I played Danny Zuko in my high school's production of Grease? I was in my high school's production of Grease. I sang Beauty School Dropout and I stopped the show.
I actually don't have much experience performing, but for whatever reason, people seem to enjoy watching.
Private jet, private jet, private jet. I got money everywhere. South by Southwest, private jet, private jet. I forget where my money is at so many places. Private jet. She's a friggin' genius. Do I have any joke? Well, actually, we were on the private jet the other day, and this guy, he said, I thought I had a kosher option prepared, and he didn't.
I got a joke for you. Matt Berkey. What? My God. Where's your bathroom? We just started. We only have a few more. Excuse me.
tell you what the real joke is. What really I find hilarious is these idiot brain jabronis that come after me and my businesses online. Like, get a life.
Are we done here?
Well, Daffy,
What are we doing?
but you're auditioning to be on our show.
This content creation is too much. I did 4 Twitter spaces last week, totaling in 15 hours. My beard is getting patchy and my wife hasn't made love to me since Mardi Gras.
Oh. Do you want to sit down?
It's too much. Can't do it anymore.
Do you need a drink?
What are we doing?
Still the audition.
It's too much.
Yeah, I'm gonna need 7 breaks. Is that cool?
No, we're
8.
in production.
I get
17.
I
5.
guess
I gotta go. Oh, we'll let you know.
I really want the gig. Who's the real idiot?
Shishimi doesn't have a beard.
Yeah, so we looked at the audition tape, decided not to get back
Decided
to
to go
any
in
of
another
them,
direction.
and ended up being our own guests for the first episode.
We booked the gig.
Hey, Caitlin, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm like happy you're here. I have some questions for you,
Oh my god.
just to like get to know you better, and maybe like have whoever's listening to this. I hope there's like one person listening to this. If not, it's fine. Like my mom already signed up. She said she'll listen.
Yeah. My mom doesn't know how to use computers so well, and my dad's 83, so he's even further behind her. So I can't
Just
really
hold
offer
Hold the
anything.
phone, the podcast up to their.
I'll send it to
faces.
them by post. They'll get it. They'll get a DVD copy eventually.
Perfect. I love it. No, I just thought it'd probably be a good idea for the community to get to know us before we bring people on, which we have so many people. I'm so excited for you to see them. But,
Oh my gosh, we're really good at making friends, y'all.
by the way, I am so thankful and overwhelmingly grateful for how supportive the community has been so far, where we hadn't even put anything out yet. We just kind of mentioned once or twice around people that we were
One of our
thinking about.
37 guest appearances on OnlyFriends.
Yeah. We were thinking about starting a show, and then so many people were like, I'll do it. And we're like, okay, we're committing you.
Snap
So
call.
we're going to call you. Don't worry. But yeah, who are we though? Maybe you want to know. Maybe you're like, I actually don't know who the fuck either of you are, and I would like to know. Well, guess what, buddy? Came to the right episode. So Caitlin, as a guest of the show, Aceholes, comedy and poker. Why do you hate yourself?
Well, what's hilarious is my sun sign is Taurus. I'm an earth sign. So
this
like
was
I
another
naturally
thing that happened at the dinner.
we're also both very witchy, astrology, crystal loving weirdos.
Hey, don't turn it off. Stop.
Stay, please.
Hey, we won't
Stay
talk
with
about
us.
it. Just stay with us for a
That's
second.
a footnote. That's a footnote.
It's a full moon in Libra right now, by the way, when we're recording.
I know. Please recharge your crystals. Because I'm an earth sign, like that normally means I like stability and like routine and the same things. And how that manifests in my life, I just like to wear the same things and eat the same things and dress and do the same hair and makeup and sort of thing. But I've always been passionate about what I've been passionate about. And in terms of my work, career, life, when I was a little girl, I wanted to be an actress. I went to acting school, and the dream never quite died. I love to be in front of people. I love to make people laugh. I love to take risks. I love to be impulsive, like we were talking about earlier. So the poker career part was never really a plan. That part was more of an accident that I just fell into. I was working after my I had some personal problems that I've talked about in the past that took me off of my entertainment career path, which was going really well. And I wound up back in Texas working at a hotel. And I was working in the hotel and playing poker on the side for fun. Texas poker had become legal for like the last couple of years. They had found this loophole, and all of a sudden there were card rooms in my home state, and I was taking advantage of them. And after maybe like a year, I worked at the hotel for 2 years. And that last year working at the hotel, I started to move up in stakes. I started to play more and more often. I started to make more friends, and I like looked around and I'm like, I'm making more money than I have in my adult life. I have more friends than I have in my adult life. What if I really like took a shot at this and like gave it my whole life? It's making me happy. And I had come out of a hard time where I was just so depressed that it became a no-brainer. And ever since then, I've been taking it one step and one day at a time. But I've been very blessed to have the success both on and off the felt in poker media and in poker results.
Yeah, I love that. What do you love most about the game?
I think I like the adrenaline rush. I do. So you won't see me jumping out of a plane or doing roller coasters, but like stand up is one of like the most adrenaline fueled activities you can do. Live performance, singing, karaoke. So I think what attracts me to the game is the rush and the swings and as much as I can give lip to service to like, oh, I hate being like all these emotions and variants and downswings. It's like it's a hell of a ride, and I'm like, and I like to be on it.
You came to Earth to live.
100%.
I love that. What would you say so far has been your favorite moment in poker?
It felt really special to win the GPI award. I know a lot of people like to rag on the GPI awards because they're a newer award. So it's like if it's only been going on for 4 years, you can't necessarily say it's this like grand establishment or institution or whatever.
Fun.
But it felt really nice to be recognized by my peers and to have like a formal event. But and also the 2 times that I had big scores in tournaments, that's obviously such a rush. And the first one was special because I had, before that day, I had never made it past level 1 of a day 2. Like I had probably only played like half a dozen tournaments up to that point. And so to make a deep run and for it to be so special and so new, like I remember being at the final table, and I started the final table as like the what's it called, the short stack, and even having locked up 9th place money, which I think was like $9,000, that would have been my biggest score ever, cash, or like I think my largest cash game score to that date was like 7,000 or 8,000. So it's just like every little milestone throughout the day, and it just kept building and getting more and more till all of a sudden I'm playing heads up for 100K, and I like believe in myself, and I refuse to chop because I've been working hard enough that I think I'm a favorite. So that was really special.
You're like, yes, me. I like that you were like, yes, I've been working on my fucking game and like I'm ready.
Yeah, no, I always have been a chop refuser.
Yeah.
Because it's like you don't get to play for 100K that much. Had I chopped, I think I would have gotten like 15K more. Like I would have taken home 75K guarantee rather than like the 60K that I ended up winning for second place. But it's like the risking it for the 40K is of greater value. And when you're in those spots and poker's your main gig, and you got to go for it, in my humble opinion. If you take a chop, dude, you're a failure.
I am so with you. No, honestly, like because the first time I like got into like a kind of bigger 5-figure payout final table, I wanted to play for the win, but like I had gone in as chip leader, and at one point I was chip leader, and everyone was gonna vote on a chop, and ICM wise, like, when I wasn't sure like I had an edge at the table. It was like I probably didn't have an edge at the table, and so everyone's saying like I'd be stupid to not chop, but I really wanted that feeling of fighting for the win. And I like eventually they talked me into doing a chop, and I was like, okay, well at least I'll be going down as like my first place, win. Yeah. I didn't know at the time too that you would get a seat at Tournament of Champions and like get a trophy. I've never won a trophy in my life at anything, so I was like, okay, cool, that's enough of a sell for me. And we all go with 5 figures. There were like 5 of us left, and we'd all get 5 figures, and that would be my biggest score. And so we voted, and then one guy found out that you get a seat at Tournament of Champions, and so he voted no, and it has to be unanimous. So I was kind of secretly glad that I was going to get to fight for the win, but then he ended up being the next person to bust, and then everyone was like, so we just vote again, right? And I was like, damn it, now I can't say no. And then at that time I wasn't chip leader because the guy that busted him now beat me by like a couple chips. We ended up chopping, but I always like kind of regretted not playing for the win. But I'm new. I don't know. I think I still do it for the fun.
No chops. Even funny ladies say no chops. Be bold and fight for your prize
I don't care
money.
if I don't have an edge. I just want to
battle.
We
just want to battle.
What drives you as a player and as a person?
I've never been a super money-driven person, much to my detriment. Like I'm not motivated by money. I'm more motivated by like the desire for respect and recognition, which I don't think is necessarily great. Like I wish I was more motivated by money, but wanting to achieve my potential. I always want to be like the best that I can be. And then I've always really wanted to be a force of influence for good in the world. Like that's important to me. That matters both on like a micro level in terms of like, I want to be nice to service industry workers. When I'm at the airport running late, I want to treat everyone with kindness and respect, even if I'm stressed. So I'm sure I fall short a number of times throughout the years and months.
I can't imagine you falling short, to be honest. You're the most polite guest I've ever had in my house.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I can be a real bitch sometimes, though. So see the comments for those that I've pissed off in the past.
I hope I never piss you off. Please like me forever.
No, I probably will. It takes so much to piss me off, truly. But yeah, I'd say that.
I think that what you said about not being money motivated is totally in alignment with us not wanting to chop. Because same, like money comes and goes. Money's an energy, man. It comes and goes. Being broke's a mindset.
Have an abundance mindset, yo. Whatever is meant to be yours is already yours.
Give me a trophy.
They're logging off because we're getting too crystal, you know?
Right. And then my last question is, when are you moving to Vegas? And why is it now?
My reservations about moving here are the weather, just like the climate. Like I spend more and more time here, the more I notice like, wow, it truly is like dry as shit. I need to drink 10 times as much water. I need to like be that much more diligent about chapstick and moisturizer. Like I feel like my lips are pretty crusty right now, even though I've already like applied balm like several times a day. But the long and the short of it is that I am born and raised in Dallas, Texas. I live in Austin right now, but I'm hearing the call of the desert. So,
look,
TBD.
I mean, I totally get you because I moved from California, born and raised, never thought I'd leave. And I will say the dryness, like my throat was so crusted that I couldn't even talk like the first 2 weeks I lived here. And I was like, this isn't going to work. What have I done? I used a humidifier, but your body does acclimate. Like within, I'd say 4 weeks, I was like, didn't even feel a difference. Don't even use the humidifier at all. The other thing is like people, or you were talking about the wind is like super windy right now. We have like a windy month or two. And she's like, I couldn't do this. But I'm like, but in Texas, like, didn't all the power go out like for 3 weeks? And like everyone was freezing?
Yeah, like about every other year we have a snowstorm that no one is prepared for somehow. Even though they come every other year like clockwork, we freak out to our 9 inches of snow. All their cars are just trapped and abandoned all over town. It can be pretty bad. But luckily I live close to, in my current abode, I'm close to a hospital. So the most I've ever lost my power was like 6 hours.
Oh, okay.
Knock
That's
on
good. Because they're like, we
velvet.
gotta keep the hospital's energy going, so you get it by default.
Yeah, because it's like on the same grid or whatever. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, your turn. I got some questions for you.
Sure. I am now a guest on the show.
This is now Nikki Limo, my guest.
Hello.
Welcome to
Thanks
my
for
show,
having
Nikki
me,
Limo.
Caitlin.
So for those of you that aren't as familiar with Nikki, you're maybe here because of my videos. Nikki is a badass OG YouTuber. She has more than 500,000 subscribers on her personal channel on YouTube. She's been a part of podcasts. She's been a part of Just Kidding News. Her most viewed video has over 12 million views.
Don't watch that video, but yes, that's very true.
We're not going to link it below, but just trust, y'all. So what about like working in the YouTuber space and coming up as part of like on the ground floor of an industry has prepared you for being in the poker space?
Yeah, I had no idea that I was going to do YouTube ever. Like it was very much not part of the plan. It was like a website where people shared cat videos. And when I moved to LA, I really want to move to LA specifically because I wanted to do film and television. So it's a lot of like, you know, it's different than theater. Like if you want to do theater, you go to New York. If you want to do film and television, you go to LA. And this was back in like 2008. So there wasn't social media. Like we had MySpace, but that's about it. And I think Facebook just opened up to the public. But before that, it was just for college students. So no social media. Everything was very traditional. You get your headshot, you go to auditions, you go get an agent, you know, they send you out. You're doing a lot of that. So I was doing stand-up comedy and I was doing traditional like auditions for film and television and commercials. And my agent said that he really needed a demo reel for me to go out for more parts. But back then people didn't really have iPhones yet. like at that time. The iPhones came out in 2007, and so 2008, like everyone still had their flip phones. Like hardly anyone had a camera on their phone. It wasn't as accessible to just have 4K cameras around to like shoot demo reel footage. So I ended up just saying yes to whatever I could. Student films, then this YouTube channel. Like there was an audition for a sketch channel, and they had like 2 sketches up, but it was really good quality, like very like TV like quality. And I was like, whatever, I don't really care how good the sketches are. I'll just do a really good job like on my part, and we'll use that clip and I can start making a demo reel. And that channel ended up blowing up. Like 6 months later, they ended up being part of this huge super channel on YouTube where like the top comedy channels, that like the top 100 comedy channels got together and made this super channel, and they blew up. And they didn't have like, he was a director, so he didn't have like on camera faces that were consistent. So he basically had me be a regular on his channel, which everyone then was working with. And so I got passed around on all the top comedy channels, and I had like 50,000 subscribers to my YouTube channel before I even put out any content. And so they were all like, you have to put out content. I'm like, I don't know how. My agent thinks it's bad for me to do YouTube. But I need the demo reels. So yeah, that's how it all started. And that was like an ancient history time ago, before any social media classes were taught in college campuses or anything. And we kind of like were on the wild frontier, like trailblazing that front. Now I'm like really happy that I fell into that position, but it definitely wasn't planned at all. And that's how I feel about poker too. Like definitely was not planning on being this deep in the poker community during the pandemic, when everything got shut down. Like all our podcast studios got shut down, and people were consuming a lot of content, but it was also just really stressful. It was like really stressful time to like try to be funny and create content. So I found myself like trying to get my brain to distract from all of that. And poker was like something I could just play for hours on end and not have to think about my life. And since my YouTube channel is a lot about my life, it was hard to like not put the two together. And I learned about like there's a whole GTO strategy. I'd been playing the game all my life, but I never knew about the like GTO strategy and like that it's a serious thing. And so I just went deep and hard on that, but not public about it. It was just like grinding and happy to like wear a mask and nobody knows who I am, and I just sit in a casino and like play hands. So yeah, that's how that started. Not expecting it.
What has been your highlight poker moment from your first couple years in poker?
Yeah, I mean, everything happened really fast because we moved to Vegas during the pandemic, and we moved into a neighborhood where 2 professional poker players lived across the street from me, and that's Katie Lindsay and Chris Moorman. They're ACR pros, and they did only tournaments. And so at that time I was only playing cash. I started learning tournament strategy, got a coach, shout out to Jesse Sylvia, and I started just like doing really well in tournaments, surprisingly. Like wasn't expecting it. It was kind of like that whole like fun thing, just like it was a new thing to learn, and like I had never had to learn different stack depths and like shoving ranges and all like the blinds changing every level. It was a lot to think about. Like it's way different than cash. It's like a whole different game, as you know.
I remember the first time I was at a table that broke, and like I finally like learned my table, and like the first moment of, oh, they just get to break my table, and now I had the most chips at this table, but now you're gonna bring me to a table where I'm the short stack. I remember how jarring that was, and I like went out immediately, and someone was like, wait, what happened? I thought you were doing so well. And I was like, I got frazzled.
Bro, I got frazzled that like because I was practicing online to learn the strategy. The first time I played live, and they did the color up, and I had to lose like $200 of chips because I just had them extra.
Yeah, you just like lose the chip
you just
race.
don't get to have them anymore. I'm like, how is that fair? They just get to take part of my stack.
Bullshit.
So I got upset about that. And then also I didn't know the flow of anything. I kept having to use my calculator, figure out how many big blinds I had, because online they do it for you. And I remember the first time I busted.
I still use my calculator to figure out how many big blinds I have, like constantly.
too.
I'm like, what is 12% of the field? What do I have to bag? And then how many big blinds are in my stack?
Yeah.
If y'all can do like long division, all fancy and big like that, like congrats on y'all. But I need round numbers.
And
to
not
do it in
just
my
that,
head.
but knowing the stack depths of everyone around you
Oh,
too,
God,
so that you know
yeah.
the ranges that they're playing. All
Wait, you're
that.
supposed to do that? No.
Which I love. I loved, like, they kept me on my toes and I was learning something new. And I think that kind of excitement gave me a lot of like run good, you know, because you haven't had bad beats. You don't have like a history of like your aces getting cracked 5 times in a row and like how bad that feels and how you're kind of scared now when you get aces. Like I didn't have any of that. I just had dumb fucking fun. And the first MTT I played, I busted before Late Roach was over, and then I had my first one-on-one coaching session, and then I won first place the very next week at that same tournament. It was just me and this really old Asian dude, and even though I wanted to fight for the win, I told myself, if I get to final table, I'm fighting for the win. I'm not chopping. We got down to heads up, and I had started the final table as short stack, and we got down to heads up, and it was like 4 a.m, and he was the Orleans deep stack, okay, like the $100 deep stack, and the guy was like, he was like 70. He's like, any interest in a chop? And I was like, yeah, we can go home. I'm first in chips. Like, I think it's fine.
You should have just like pushed him down. Like, no bathroom breaks for you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so that was really fun. And then like my first 20 tournaments, I like final tabled 5 of them. So it was like I was like one out of every 4 I would final table. And one of those was my first WSOP. The second event was like I final tabled and got 4th in the $600 deep stack. One bullet.
Massive field.
Yeah.
Huge accomplishment.
Like 5,717 people, and I wasn't even gonna play that event that day. I was gonna play cash, but I was like, it's an under $1,000 buy-in. I said I would do those. I missed this one. I'll do it. Whatever. I late reg for 32 big blinds, and yeah, I just wanted to make my first min cash, and it ended up like going all the way home, and yeah, really unexpected. And then I would say that wasn't even like the cashing a 6-figure cash, like without ever planning, that wasn't even like the best part. The best part was the rail that I had at the time, like all these people that I had just met within a matter of like 5 months of living in Vegas were there, and they were like big names that I had just met that I didn't like know before getting into tournaments. Andrew Neiman was there, shout out. My neighbors, Chris Mormon, Katie Lindsay, Jesse Sylvia, my coach, Ashley Sleeth, and then Ebony and Camille, and a bunch of people from Punter's Pad that I just met at ACR. And it was at the very beginning of the series too, so like that at the end of that, like busting whatever, I was like, I busted 4th, but whatever. It was like the first 6-figure payout. It was like taking a picture with all of them afterwards, and like they were all being so supportive. Was like, that was definitely the best moment for me.
I am very surprised at how like the core group of poker, and of course they're like shitty toxic people that we all talk about in fights and in fighting, but like when you find your tribe within it, like poker people are ride or die. Poker people are hardcore, the best,
honestly.
And of course they're gonna be scammers. They're gonna be people break your heart. We've run into people like that too in our dealings, but
I think I was most surprised because
I'm more overwhelmed by how many people are kind than I am like hurt by people that turn out to be shitty.
Because that's kind of what I wanted to get away from with the YouTube community. Like, you know, a lot of egos get involved as people started to make a lot more money on YouTube. It used to be a very collaborative space where everyone supported each other and helped each other out. And then I felt like as people became more mainstream, like you could become like actual famous and not just like online famous, and get like major brand deals and huge amounts of money. People got like, you know, pretty big celebrity egos about it, and it wasn't the same as it was when I started. And when I met the poker community, you know, you think about poker players as, you know, they're dealing with huge amounts of money. You think like their egos are probably going to be big, like they're going to be divas, but they're actually pretty grounded. I think because the variance really like
Humbling.
Humbles
Keeps
you,
you humble.
that I have been so impressed and just so elated at everyone I've met in the community has been so nice, like super nice, super kind, very like can't wait to support, can't wait to like, especially in the tournament poker community, can't wait to rail each other.
Oh, yeah.
Like so awesome. Just, and I fell in love with it. And after that because I was really just going to play for last year and then go back to YouTube stuff and whatever, see what happens. But, yeah, I just fell in love with the community and I was like, I want to make content in this space.
Okay, final question. What's the hardest part about poker for you?
I would say just like YouTube and entertainment and comedy is like the in-betweens of like the unknown. Like when you're on a downswing and you don't know when the next win is going to be. Like, did you just get lucky or did you study your ass off and you actually had an edge? Like, I don't know. I don't think I've put enough volume to like know that. And that's how it felt when I first started like YouTube and comedy and stuff was like, hey, I had a really sick run in the beginning, like just getting airdropped into like the top 100 channels immediately. But like that was like a really lucky thing that happened. Do I deserve to be here in this space? Or do I still like, am I an idiot? Like, there's still so much to learn. And I think I've learned to accept that that's also the exciting part is like being the newbie and being like, hey, I have a giant chip on my shoulder because I have imposter syndrome. So like, I'm going to work my ass off to try to like keep my place here.
Imposter syndrome is real. It totally is. It's like, oh, wow, am I a wizard or did I just shove with Jack High and get through a couple times? It's like, well, column A,
or did I have a vibrating thing that made it that I was
the
cheating?
anal beads, the cheating anal beads are really helpful.
Yes.
I can't recommend them enough.
I didn't think I was going to like them so much, but
you got to open your mind and your cheeks to really find what works.
Aceholes, welcome to the show. All right, so that was a like very serious discussion, so that maybe you get to know us. We were very vulnerable, put our like little tiny baby hearts on the table. Now we're gonna make it very unserious and play a game that is similar to the Newlyweds game. We're gonna call it the Newly Co-host game.
Yay!
The Newly Co-host game.
I've compiled a list of questions for us, and we have our answers written down. We are going to try to guess the other person's answers. Person who guesses the most wins. Yay! We like winning. No chops.
I'm going to keep score because last time we played a game, we forgot to keep
That's
score.
true. We did do that. You have that to look forward to.
So our first one is favorite color.
Favorite color.
I think your favorite color based on what you wear and I don't know. I think it's pink.
What? It is pink.
Woo! Score one for
Cheater,
Caitlin.
cheater, pumpkin eater. I've been
No,
wearing
I would have
way
guessed
green.
pink. I would have guessed pink
Yeah.
before. All right, what's
Yeah.
my favorite color?
I'm such a girly. I'm gonna guess. Black is not a color, by the way. So hope you didn't write
No,
that. But
I would never.
I'm gonna guess pink. I don't care. Damn it! Green.
Her last name. It's always been green. Yeah.
Really?
I don't wear a lot of green.
That's why you said yes to me.
Because it doesn't, pretty much, because it doesn't like go with my coloring necessarily. But it's just my favorite color.
Favorite movie to watch when depressed? I mean, I have no idea. So this is just a stab in the dark. I'm gonna go with Chicago. Blackfish. Oh, you like to be real sad.
I just love orcas. Like Free Willy, I think was like the first movie I saw in the theaters. I went to SeaWorld so many times as a little girl. I was just always incredibly drawn to that animal, the black and white. I mean, I think a lot of people
you're crying over a breakup and you're like, you know what would make me sadder is Blackfish.
Well, the thing is, at this point, I've seen Blackfish so many times. It's a comfort watch because
You're
I
like,
could
my
probably
life's better
recite
than that whale's life.
No, I could even tell you how it starts. Like cold open, the water, and then it's like we have a George Tobin, and it's like the courtroom case, and they're interviewing the paramedic, and she's like, so whatever happened to the? He's like, the arm. He swallowed it.
And that suits you.
R.I.P. Don Branchow. That is
my
my answer.
You're a true masochist.
I don't know. I just like it.
Oh my
I don't
god.
like
My
it.
goodness.
Okay, your movie, you said you've talked about it before?
I mean, that's a fucking hint now.
Shoot. The last movie I remember us talking about is Lilo and Stitch, but I don't think that's it. But I'll guess Lilo and Stitch.
It is Garden State.
Oh, that's right, because she's a manic pixie dream girl.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of depression in that movie, but they kind of like make each other laugh through it. And, I just think it's got a lot of great little bits in there, and it always makes me smile and feel warm inside.
So the next one is Cash or Tournament.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you said Cash.
I said tournaments, even though I never would have ever thought I would ever pick this. I think that I think I'm getting really antsy for the WSOP, and I'm like kind of getting excited. This was the time of the year where I first got into studying tournament strategy, and I maybe feel like I'm on an overlapping timeline of like feeling that excitement again.
I love playing MTTs because I love bringing like my cash game sensibilities to it.
Yeah.
Like I love to try to get people to drink at my WSOP tables. I love to get people chatting. I love to just like irritate the like antisocial grinders. But
Yeah. I'm picking cash for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you're on the board.
All right. The next one was favorite song to cry to. This is like the movie one. I'm just taking a stab at the dark.
I think I know yours. Or no, am I going to guess that for your like currently played a lot?
Probably.
Romeo and Juliet
That's
is yours?
no, mine is Headlights.
Which one? What's that one go? Sing a little bit. of it.
It's an Eminem song. It's where he forgives his mother after like
my
years
second
and
guess
years.
was going to be Stan. The Stan
Oh, I
one where
almost
he
put
writes the
Stan
letters.
because I did cry to that, but I stopped crying over that in like high school. This is like the new Eminem song that I cried to, which isn't that new. It came out in 2013, but it's newer than Stan.
Love it.
For yours, I'm gonna guess something like, "Did you ever know that you're my hero?"
It is a question. It is a question, but it's not Wind Beneath My Wings. It's Rilo Kiley's Does He Love You?
Oh.
Does he love you? Does he love you? Will he hold your tiny face in his hands? It's about a woman who's the other woman and like the hope that the man is ever going to leave the wife for you. And then like her realizing that he's never going to. That whole album is full of sad songs that are just amazing. I love Jenny Lewis of that same era. I also love Bright Eyes. These were some of my favorite bands in high school, that and White Stripes. So nobody gets a point.
No one gets a point. No one wins.
No one wins.
The song that I actually do cry to, probably more so now, is the Lana Del Rey one where that goes like, "Will you still love me when I'm no longer
young and beautiful?"
Yeah, I'm just like,
I always remember that song because that's so you know how Kanye proposed to Kim Kardashian in like a giant baseball stadium?
Yeah.
He had a full orchestra play her that song because that's her favorite song. Because why wouldn't that be her favorite song? She's like a
yeah.
beauty icon. Like, will you still love me when I'm no longer beautiful? So yeah.
chills.
And apparently he didn't. So spoiler alert.
So, the next one is worst age. What was it? Like
Yeah,
worst,
I think I know yours.
least favorite age to be.
Yes. I think yours is going to be 15 because you always bring up that 15-year-old picture of yourself.
No, it's 19. I actually had 25 down written originally because I always tell people that 25 is like the worst year for everybody. It's like when your life falls apart and then it rebuilds at 26. But if I thought of actual hell, that if I had to be trapped in one age forever, I think 19 would definitely be like the worst age, like the worst of the worst, because you're technically an adult, but you don't know what you're doing yet, and you haven't made any money, you haven't had a career, you can't drink yet legally, you can't go gamble, you literally can't go do anything, and you can't check into certain hotels, and you're just like, if I was stuck at 19, I think that would be the actual worst age.
Yep.
I'm going to guess for you least favorite age. 10. I don't know why. I was just like, I just feel like it's something in childhood.
What? Yes.
When
no.
you're still cognizant to keep those memories.
So I went with 10 because I remember I was the first girl in my year to start my period by like a long margin. So I got puberty first. So I started to get hormones first. I started to feel depressed first. My boobs came in first before anyone was wearing bras. So my body was changing before everybody else. So I just remember it being a really hard time and like just like being so depressed as a little girl.
Damn.
And also I like was a part of this weird religious community too. So 10.
They made you feel bad about your boobs.
They made me feel so bad about my boobs.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got made fun of a lot at my school because I just, like it was a very like cookie cutter, like blonde haired, blue eyed people, like wealthy, affluent families. We're all Christian. We all believe these same things. And I've always been a giant freak. So it was like hard for me.
Oh, I felt like the same opposite. I didn't get boobs until way later. I mean, I didn't. I'm still waiting for most of them to come in, but like was
Any day now.
late bloomer.
Any
like
day now,
14 was my period, and I was jealous of everyone else getting boobs, and also around a lot of blonde hair, blue eyed, like surfer looking beachy girls, and didn't ever feel pretty because was not that. All right, subject you were best in at school.
You gonna guess for me first?
Yeah, I'm gonna say English.
Yeah. Writing English. I feel like you're gonna say something stupid like math or language or something, but I'm gonna go with math.
Yeah. Really good at math.
Stupid. That sounds really useful for you.
What's funny though is like I'm sure you were good at math and like I was good at creative writing too, but like you got a 4.7 GPA or whatever.
No. I graduated with like a 4.4 somewhere in there.
Excuse me, only a 4.4.
I took a lot of AP classes.
So I feel like you were good at a lot of subjects. I'm just glad I
but
chose
competent
right.
class rake. Well, I also didn't have a social life in high school. I didn't kiss a boy in high school. I didn't go. I think I went on one date and my friend crashed it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't have my first kiss till 15, and then didn't really have a boyfriend till 16.
I think I had my first kiss at summer camp with Michael.
You went to summer camp?
I was not only so I went to musical theater camp every summer.
Oh my gosh, of course.
But
did.
I was like in my school, I was like the loser freak, whatever. But when I go to theater camp, I'm one of the funnier ones. I'm one of the better singers. So I was actually like probably like the Regina George of musical theater camp. Like I really ruled with an iron fist. I like named our clique. I controlled who was in the clique. I think I was drunk on power in musical theater summer camp.
I mean,
100%.
when you're deprived of power for so much during your regular life, and then
I
you
couldn't
get
enough.
Bit, yeah.
So of course I reached sexual maturity too, just kissing boys.
That's so funny.
In a hot tub. It was in a hot tub.
I could see that, little Caitlin. Aw.
Yep.
All right. The next one is favorite poker player.
I'm gonna guess for you first.
Okay.
Phil Ivey. Such a classic answer.
I love Phil Ivey. My answer changes all the time, so it's not really a fair question. I put Negranu.
Okay.
Because currently, I got really into watching all of his streams, and I think he does a really good job at like breaking down like his thought process while he's going through his streams. I mean, a lot of streamers do this. This isn't like reinventing the wheel or anything, but just because he's been such a crusher for so many years, and then getting to hear his thought process, it helped me a lot in different spots where I normally would have folded, but I didn't, because I remember him talking about this exact spot, and then vice versa, where I normally wouldn't bet in that spot, but then I bet. And yeah, it just
limping is pimping.
Been helping a lot. Yeah, I never used to just limp from the small blind until watching his streams, and I'm like, you know what? He's on to something, because I lose a lot of money blind versus blind.
Let's do a limping range. Sure. All right, you gonna guess mine?
Yeah, I'm gonna guess Moneymaker.
I went Kathy Liebert.
Oh, that's a good one.
I went her because she's like an old guard. I remember watching her in the ESPN Moneymaker era days.
Yeah.
A lot of women have come and gone from the game. Kathy has been around. She has her signature purple look. She's always in a purple Lacoste. And then she gave an interview last year, especially, that I just really connected with, where she's talking about, how everyone around her is playing GTO now, and sort of her theory on GTO is if, when you're playing Game Theory Optimal, you're making a lot of assumptions about the way I'm going to be playing. But if I'm not playing that way, then like, what is your adjustment? What is your response? So I think she's a really smart, funny, clever lady. I'm so like, I've gotten to play with her now a couple of times. We say hi to each other on Twitter and on the felt. And all my love to you, Kathy. You're my
grinder
favorite
too. Like she's been around
Oh my
forever, and
God,
she'll
yeah.
she is not too good for any buy-in level. Like I've played with her at a 500, at a 400.
So humble.
Like love Kathy Kathy Liebert. All right, favorite candy.
Okay, my guess for you is gonna be gummy bears.
That makes sense because we
eat gummy bears
quite a
in
bit
your
of gummy
home.
bears here.
I'm gonna be so pissed.
And-
Why is it not gummy bears?
It almost was, but I had to be really honest about my favorite is watermelon sour patch.
Ah!
I go through some phases though, like where we've been on a gummy bear kick lately, but yeah, watermelon sour patch.
I should get half a point because it's a gelatin based candy.
That's
I don't think you're gonna get mine.
fair.
I've never talked about it.
okay. Maybe it is fair that you didn't get mine then.
It is fair. Yeah.
I'm gonna guess. What? It's not this, but I'm just gonna say Abba Zaba.
What is Abba Zaba? I don't know. My favorite candy is Spree.
Said I wouldn't guess it. Definitely wouldn't guess that. So I
Spree
knew it was
hard
like a low tier
only.
candy.
Low tier candy. Why are you being such a bitch about my candy taste right now? I can't
That
even deal
candy
with you.
choice sucks.
At least it wasn't dishonest. Yours was misleading. Trying to obfuscate your real favorite candy.
Real.
All right, so Spree, but I only like the hard kind. I don't like the chewy
That's
kind that comes in a
worse.
bag, in a green bag. Hate that. I only want the kind that comes
The
in like a little
old-
tube.
Can't even find those anymore.
I know exactly what drugstores in Austin sell them, and
Are they almost out of business? Do they need donations?
They're not doing well. They're not doing well. That's fair.
You're like, yeah, we'll take your Spree from the 90s.
What's the next question?
Worst way to die.
I looked at what this was and I was like, what is this an answer to?
I'm gonna guess being strangled for you.
I said burning alive.
That's pretty bad.
I just think whenever I watch like Game of Thrones or Salem witch trials and stuff, I'm like, God, burn, because it's slow, right?
Yeah.
And you feel the excruciating
Yeah, I don't want to
pain.
think about it.
Like if you drown or you fall off a high thing, it's like it's pretty instantaneous and you get the euphoric whatever. But yeah, burning
yeah,
alive.
that one's probably more awful than what I wrote down. But I think just because I don't even want to picture that, but
Yeah.
I can picture this one, even though I don't want to either. But like,
It's just drowning.
no, but that almost was it too. It's very similar.
I
in
almost
the
went with drowning. Drowning's pretty hard.
That's pretty bad too. It's buried alive.
Ooh,
Like
yeah,
just like
suffocate-
you're alone, like being buried alive for like you don't
like in a coffin,
like how
like
are you
suffocating.
Yeah,
Oh,
and then like
God.
you're just confined and trapped like that.
How
Ryan
liberating
Reynolds-
is that scene of Kill Bill? Well, I was gonna go with the Kill Bill reference.
yeah.
So she gets buried alive and she cry chops her way and like digs out
Yeah,
of
that's
there.
a fun movie. Don't watch the Ryan Reynolds one.
Yikes!
That's like the most anxiety inducing movie I've ever seen.
I can't do it.
Yeah. All right, next one. This is the song played on repeat.
Did I already guess it? Is it Romeo and Juliet?
It is.
Nice.
You guessed it the
Back
wrong
on the board.
time.
We're tied up. We're all tied up.
Yours is the one. It's the all about the bass singer girl. What's her fucking name? But I don't know the name of the song. It's you sing it all the time.
She's right, but if she doesn't come up with the name,
I
she
don't know
fucked.
the name of the song.
You can come up with if you can come up with the singer name, we'll give you credit.
Her name is. All about that bass, about that bass, no trouble.
That's not the song though.
I know it's not
the
that
new
song,
one.
but I'm trying to think of the singer, and I thought that would give me.
Da 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 da.
I know what she looks like. I just can't.
Are you
I don't remember her name.
seceding the point?
No, it's on the tip of my tongue. Fine, for time's sake, I will. But I would, if we weren't recording, I would sit here all night until I remembered her name.
Okay, it's Mother by Meghan Trainor.
Meghan Trainor.
So you had it right, but you also didn't know.
Damn
That's
it.
upsetting.
I know a lot of things around it.
Because she's
Alright.
sampling Mr. Sandman, y'all. The chorus is like,
That's
you're just
right.
a bum 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 bum.
I don't think you're gonna get this one. But
What is this one?
Biggest fear.
Dying Before Steve.
That actually is, but this one's worse.
Okay. Or Steve Dying Before You, I guess, would be what it would.
No. Oh yeah, Steve dying before me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve. I would want to die first. No, it's a cockroach in my ear.
What?
Yeah,
Why would it be there?
Exactly. But I watched so many videos, and also a kid in my class, like asked to go see the nurse one time, and like it turned out he's like, I think I have a cockroach in my ear, and he was right. And that wasn't the first time it happened to him. And then after I found that out, and that was a thing, I'm so like, that's like the worst thing is like a cockroach being trapped in your ear and just hear it scuttling.
Absolutely
and, like,
not.
I already hate cockroaches. They physically induce vomiting for me. And so like one being trapped in my ear is just like kill me. Honestly, just let me die.
Truly awful.
What if you were stuck with a cockroach in your ear and you were buried alive? That would be the worst thing to happen.
It's too much for
hey,
one
let's
soul
think
to
of
bear.
all the worst things to happen.
What's the worst thing I thought could happen?
Your biggest fear is, I don't know, dying alone?
Fuck you. Of all the ones I wanted you to get wrong, probably this is the one I didn't want you to just like nail perfectly. But yeah, dying alone, not finding my soulmate. I hate you. I have to add a point for that.
If you make sure I never get a cockroach in my ear, I'll make sure that doesn't happen for you.
Thank you. I don't know, dying alone. Yeah, bitch. Yeah. That is my deepest, darkest fear. Thank you for knowing me so well.
Aww.
All right. Favorite drink?
You could die with me.
And Steve?
Yeah.
Have you asked Steve yet?
He's fine.
I feel like he's going to veto it.
Let's get you a drink. What's your favorite one? I'm going to guess. Fuck, you've said it before and I can't remember. Something with tequila. It is maybe, I'm just going to say margarita.
Okay, absolutely not. I think you were trying to come up with Greyhound, which is the vodka grapefruits.
Oh,
That's my
yeah.
go-to, but my favorite drink is actually a Manhattan. I would have given you credit if you said Greyhound, though, because I tweet about it
that's
so much and
fun.
stuff. But Manhattan.
I'm glad you would have given me something if I guessed that one. I was like, well, the one I order is not the one on this paper either.
Oh.
Because I just order it to not be full. But this one is actually my favorite drink that I would get.
I know Katie's is an Aperol Spritz. I don't think that's your favorite drink. I really don't know your favorite cocktail because you always order wine.
Yeah,
when
true.
we're at dinner.
Facts.
I guess I could say Pinot. Maybe you wrote down Pinot and you were honest.
I didn't.
Okay.
So I got in the habit of drinking red wine and vodka soda limes when I had that gut health issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like kind of partially terrified of it reemerging, so I always like go the safe route. But on my birthday, you could catch me getting wild with some Moscow mules.
Oh, nice choice. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
And it has to be in the copper cup.
Yes,
Has to
definitely.
be in the copper
Otherwise,
cup.
it's not a true Moscow mule. Live games or online?
I think we both gave the same answer.
1, 2, 3.
Live!
Dream guest for the show? Alan Keating.
No, and like he's a very gettable guest
Yes,
that he's gonna be on soon.
You said you'd be
You
on
said
the
you'd
show.
be on, Alan.
No welching.
No welching. No, I said Jennifer Tilly.
Aww. She would be great.
I know, but I don't think she liked my impression of her. She never acknowledged it. But she's like booked and busy, so I don't know.
I have like an answer that I wrote, but also there's a secondary answer that I will accept as well. It's kind of a trick answer.
Jesus Christ.
He keeps not returning my calls.
I hate it when he does that.
No, I put Eminem. But he plays sometimes, and also I would have accepted Boston Rob because he does play poker, and I just posted about him on my Instagram.
We love him. We got to meet him together at the GPI
Awards. Shout out to Boston Rob. Steve and I, my husband, we're such huge Survivor fans, like so big, and that was like a big get for me to have a picture and like send to my husband, like, look who I met.
Very special.
So thanks, Rob. For
I took that photo. That's why you look good.
Thanks. Biggest pet peeve. Breaking promises.
Being ignored.
Ooh, yeah.
So just like socially, something I happen only in Vegas. This would never happen in Texas. Like someone new to the table, you're like, oh, hey, welcome to the table. And they just like act like you didn't speak.
Yeah.
Or if, I send a text message to somebody and I think they've seen it and they just ignore it. So just being ignored.
Being put on red. What's my biggest pet peeve?
I think you're gonna do something that like is gonna annoy me, like eating at the table, which is just like everybody eats
Eating
at
at
the
the table.
I hate when people say they're like, my biggest pet peeve is eating at the table. It's like, why don't you say your biggest pet peeve is having fun or enjoying yourself?
Oh,
at the
eating
table
at the poker
too.
table. I was thinking
Yeah,
a
when
dinner
they're like,
table.
oh, you have like your eating at the table.
I was like, where
You
do
eat on the
eat?
floor.
Yeah. No, I actually cried at Marley's birthday.
What? What?
Marley had her birthday downtown at like the Golden Nugget, but it was like the one adjacent to the Golden. It wasn't at the Golden Nugget. There was like another. I can't even remember the casino we went into. But everyone sat down to play Ultimate, and I had gotten a pizza slice. I always fucking eat at the table. Like I'm the pizza eater at the table, and
I eat Red Hot Cheetos. I don't give a fuck, y'all.
Exactly. I use a napkin, and I don't like touch the pizza on the cards. Like I use my other hand to bet and like pull. I don't care.
No, I'm marking cards.
When I'm
with
hungry,
Cheeto
I'm
dust.
hungry. And I don't want to miss my hands. I'm sorry. I'm like definitely not that girl. But I got the dealer yelled at me. She's like, you can't eat at the table. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry. So I gave it to Steve, and I sat down and I started playing. And then I would lean back and try to take bites. I'd like lean back to get bites of my pizza, and she's like, you can't do that either. And I was like, what? She's like, no, seriously, you have to get up right now. Like, you have to get up right. And I was like, really? Like, I didn't know. I thought you meant just like, don't lean over the table. Don't like touch the cards. Like, that makes sense to me. But like, I was leaning back to take a bite. Like, he's feeding it to me. Like, I'm not.
He's feeding it.
Yeah. And she was like, that's disgusting. And I was already like deep into like a vodka soda lime, and I just started like felt myself crying. I'm like, I gotta go, and I just like went to the fucking bathroom and just started bawling. I got yelled at for eating pizza at Ultimate Texas Hold'em at like this dingy ass fucking casino.
Are you crying right now? Just remembering it?
She was so mean. She was like this like young like fucking 26-year-old like.
You're literally
like,
crying
dealer.
right now.
She wouldn't let me eat my pizza.
Why are you crying? You're not
It's our
drunk
first
now.
episode. I'm traumatized. Anyway, let people eat.
It's true. Like, I feel like a lot more people would play table games if the table game dealers weren't such giant cunts about everything. It's like,
so
put your
mean.
phone away.
She was like, you're disgusting. And I was like,
I like literally hate when anybody calls you disgusting based on like for farting, for burping, for eating, for like sleeping, for snoring. It's
back.
like, it's a bodily function, yo. Like, chill out.
So like, we're just having fucking fun. I was gonna tip you a lot.
Quit crying, Nikki. You're not
can't-
there anymore.
That's my toxic trait. I cry at everything. It's like half crying from laughing, but also like
Just remembering when
trauma.
another grown woman called you disgusting.
Yeah. Don't be mean to Rex.
Oh.
It was flaking. Like, don't fucking flake on me. Stop.
I don't think I
Just
would have
say
guessed.
you don't want to hang out. I don't care. Just don't like last minute flake.
One time a dealer made me cry. I know her, and we had like personal beef, but we were sitting at a home game that she deals, and I made a joke about like, oh, ha 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 ha, I'm so skinny, and my joke was like sarcastic because I know I'm not skinny, and she was like, no one would ever think you're skinny, and she said that in front of like 8 of my close like
Oh my God.
friends in Texas and shit, and I mean like I had just made the joke myself, so like at the time, and I was a little buzzed, so I remember the time being like, what? But I like went to the bathroom and I was just like, fuck this whore.
Yeah. That would hurt. What do you like most about me?
Well, I wrote down what I like most about you. I'm guessing what you like most about me.
No. Wait, I did it wrong.
I did it wrong.
I put down what I think you like most about me.
I put down what I like most about you. So should we see if it's the same?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. My butt.
I put that you're organized, gentle, and caring. Your butt. Oh, nobody gets any points for that one.
That's a wash.
Oh my god.
Cool. So
This is the only question I contributed to the game.
go ahead.
Where's the weirdest place you have ever made whoopee? From the Newlywed Game.
The stairwell. Is where Caitlin did it.
You shouldn't get a point for this. Yes, I went to New Orleans for the Super Bowl with my ex-fiance, and we were sharing a room with another person. So we just kept going to weird places to make whoopee.
I've shared mine.
One of them was a stairwell.
That's a very odd place.
Also, the lobby bathroom was another one.
I thought of a weirder one, but I'll go with this one that I wrote down, and I have talked about this before, so I feel like you have a shot.
I want to say like a putt-putt golf, like a mini golf course.
That would be sick. But no, it was just a public restroom. Like, wah, wah. Although the weirder place was like in the middle of a concert, like in the audience.
In the mosh pit?
No, like in the back seat. It was like a theater.
In the back seat? You're in a car in a theater?
No.
Like a
the
drive-in?
back of the room at a seat. Like it was like a theater. So there's like rows of chairs.
Like a movie theater.
Yeah, but it was a concert. And
nobody saw you?
No, but my ex-boyfriend welched like halfway through because he was too scared of people seeing us, so didn't really finish.
That is the most public. More public than I thought it would have been.
What's your guilty pleasure? Movie theater fucking.
Sex in public. Committing crimes.
Being buried alive.
Well, what's hilarious is like having sex in public or like whatever is like really hot. Like I'm a fan, but also the consequences are so real. Like if you get caught, you're a sex offender.
I didn't think about that. I was a cute 26-year-old girl.
Yeah.
You know? Like what? I didn't
think
offend.
it's cute.
I offended him.
No, you like that.
Who got offended? Speak up.
Okay.
All right, what's my
guilty pleasure?
What's my guilty pleasure?
I think you said
This was a hard one for both of us to come up with.
I think you said cigarettes.
That's yours.
Is that what I wrote down though? But I quit also. Officially. Your husband. I don't know.
A lot of guilt for that.
Yeah, you should feel really bad about
marital sexual affairs.
You just take such good care of you. You should feel guilty.
I should, but I don't, weirdly. I put Dr. Mario.
Oh, yes! That should be both of ours.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like
We've been
Tetris.
playing a lot of Dr. Mario lately.
It helps us reset the system.
But does it?
It might.
We tell ourselves that.
I think you can get mine if you think hard enough about it. What do I like that you made me feel bad about?
Soup.
Canned soup. So for those of you that don't know, Nikki ruined canned soup for me because she told me
You're
there's a lot of sodium. Leave the table.
I gotta go.
Yes. Okay, so I said canned soup. You're destroying this game, but I also gave you a hint.
Yeah, you did. That was a
I
pretty
think
big
you
one,
also
too.
like, but we were at like 5-4.
Okay, this one I'm actually really interested in. It's a stone bubble in the main event, and you have 13 big blinds.
It's the stone bubble of the main event.
main
I missed
event.
that part.
Okay, well, good to know. The middle position shoves, and you wake up with ace king off in the small blind. What do you do? Also, they cover you. I didn't put that, but like, yeah, the middle position shoves.
Well, I changed my answer now that I knew it was the stone bubble.
Okay.
But I think you fold. I think you
Fold because I'm a fucking knit rag. But also,
Yeah.
you should do that ICM wise. Like, you should probably not play ace king off if you're short stacked. Anyway, now that you changed your answer to fold along with
but it
me, but it was not
get
a
it
pussy.
in, not a pussy. But I didn't realize it was a stone bubble with an ace king off.
Okay, if it was like 10 to the money in the main event.
Yeah, I get it
Still.
in. I get it in.
You get it in?
For 13 bigs with ace king?
Yeah, with 10 to go.
Yeah, I might. I don't know. I haven't studied
It's the
ICM
end
at
of
all.
the third day. You've been playing for 3 days straight. You're going to punt it off. 10 to go. You know how fast it's going to go?
Okay. Then maybe I fold. If you want me to fold, I'll fold.
You should fold. We're
Are you
playing
my
tag team
investor?
together.
Okay, we're folding. Got it. Yes, ma'am. Aye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let us know what you do in the comments. Anyway, that was our newly co-host game. Hope you enjoyed it. We learned a lot about each other. We laughed. We cried.
Why are you crying? Why did you
Mostly
cry? I
crying.
can't get over it. We talked about being burned alive and dying alone. The pet peeve question really got it in.
And it wasn't even my pet peeve. It's just what she thought was going to be. And I'm like, not only do I not mind if you eat at the table, but I will cry if you tell me I can't. Yeah, so welcome to Aceholes. Now you know. And we have a lot of guests.
Congrats
for
on
you.
winning the game.
Thank you. Oh, I won. Yes. You won. But not a trophy. And that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me fueled. I have never won a trophy. Probably never will. My dad probably would never be proud of me ever. He can't be because then I won't have any motivation to keep going. Anyway, welcome to our show. Hope you like it. Also, share the show with your friends. We love the support. And thank you so much for just the warm welcome. Really appreciate you guys, and I hope there's more than just my mom still listening, but even if not, we love you. Okay, see you next week. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Aceholes with Nikki and Caitlin.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our latest episode. I hope you liked it. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to follow and ring the bell. Also, check out some of our other content.
We've got plenty of amazing guests, fun sketches, and games clipped up and ready for you to enjoy.